I will start about several topics. First, what is Kurz's mission regarding sustainability? Then I will try to answer, is Kurz foil recyclable, and explain the recyclability of paper-based product embellished with or transfer finish, and the recyclability of plastic-based product with Kurz transfer finish. Is Kurz foil recyclable? You probably already heard this question or ask yourself this question or receive it from the customers. It's of course not easy to answer, and there is several aspects behind it. So first, it's not a foil. For years, we have been using the word foil to describe our product. Of course, we are selling a foil, but applied on your packaging is not a foil. We're just transferring a few layers on the packaging, and the plastic will be separate and not applied on the packaging, which make a huge difference for the recyclability. It's not a laminate, and you just have a few layers of coating on the product. So there is several layers on a product, carrier, release layer to peel off the PET from the other layers. Then there's the protective layers to top coat to protect the other layers and to bring the shiny effect and also the colors. Then there is a metallic effect, so aluminum sheet. And then the last layer is an adhesive layer, which will depend on the substrate you're using. So the total thickness of all layers is very minimal. It's 1.5 to 3 microns. And there is no plastic on the packaging. There is no foil on the product, no lamination. You're just transferring it. There is no hazardous ingredients, and the aluminum quantity is minimum. So I think the better question is that it's Kurz foil recyclable, but it's the end product recyclable, which means is a bottle with unlabeled decorated with hot stamping recyclable, or is a cardboard with hot stamping recyclable. I'll show you a small video. Of course, there is aluminum in the product, but the amount you're applying is very minimum. You're just transferring 0.02 microns of aluminum. So compared to, for example, a beverage carton, in every beverage carton there is a aluminum layer, so around 6 micron. With metallic inks or metallized paper, you're around 0.2 or 0.1 microns aluminum, and with hot stamping or cold foiling, you apply 0.02 microns of aluminium on your product. How can we say that the end product is recyclable? First, it needs to be technically recyclable, which means that the substrate you use need to be recyclable. You need to conform with standards, and if your product does not comply with the standards, then it means that it won't be recyclable. Then you need to access collection from point of use. It will depend on each market, each cities, each countries. Sometimes paper are collected with other materials, sometimes not. It's very depending on the market. And then it needs to be accepted by a sorting system, by sorting facilities. How can we identify and recognize the materials, the objects in the facilities? And then it needs to be accepted by recyclers. How paper mills can reuse, for example, the paper-based product. So that's basically how the recycling is working for paper. The de-inking, which I explained, so it's a bit technical, but basically it's how we can screen and detach the ink, the coating, the adhesive from the paper fibers to be able to recycle the paper itself. And that's where our product is able to be separated, to be screened, and to be removed from the paper fibers to be recycled. So for this first part, what we see is that our products are recyclable, de-inkable, and compostable, which are the main point regarding the recyclability of a product. Regarding plastic parts, so labels, industrial product, or cosmetic part, we also done a lot of tests. So the life cycle of plastic is a bit more complicated because there is way more different products, but it's basically the same. Theoretically, you can recycle it. It's not always the case, but you need to focus on the design for recycling, how you design your product to be sure that it will be recycled, how you collect it, how it will be recognized by sorting facilities, and also how you can recycle the materials itself. So to be sure that a product is well designed for the recycling, you need to avoid multi-layers on laminates, because when you have multiple materials, it's difficult to recycle. You need to avoid silicones or PVC because they are not recyclable, and they will disturb the recyclability of the plastic. And you also need to avoid carbon blacks, compounds, or talcum. You also need to avoid labels which contain PVC or PLA because they are not recyclable, and also avoid aluminum labels, full aluminum labels, which are really difficult to be recognized. And also avoid hazardous substances, which will have an influence on the quality of the plastic, of the materials afterward. Then you need to think about the surface coverage. We recommend 65% of the surface coverage with labels, because the sensors, the sorting facilities need to detect and recognize the base material. And if you have a huge label on it, it's more difficult to sort. So basically, we started with the same as the paper. We start with technical recyclability. We made some tests, for example, with a polypropylene bottle directly stamped with hot stamping, and we had a certificate from a third institute called RecyClass HTP, who certified that those bottles directly unstamped can be 100% recyclable in a few countries in Europe. Why not more countries? Because they do not know all the process from every country, and there are also some countries which are not able to recycle polypropylenes. So then there is also the access to the point of use. For example, in Germany, there is a specific bags to collect all the packaging waste, where we do not have so much influence. The next step is accepted by sorting systems. We also did a lot of tests at Tomra, where we have tested a lot of tubes, bottles, everything possible to see how they recognize the materials, how they can classify it, and how they can, if they accept the materials. So, for example, this sample on the right is a shampoo bottle with a label on it, a stamped label, and basically it just recognize only HDPE on the polypropylene from the caps of the bottle, and the decoration, the ink has no influence. That's something quite important for us to see that the hot stamping on the label has not so much influence on the classification, which means that you can resize the packaging with the hot stamping on it. The next step is accepted by recyclers. So we are working with several groups in the industry. We are, for example, working today with RecyClass. RecyClass is an online platform specified for plastics. The goal is to achieve more high quality plastic and to have a better recycling process. And we join this platform to be able to work together and to have good guidelines and to be able to help more people designing and recycling products. We are also working with for Evergreen. For Evergreen is an online platform, is a working group started by CEPI. CEPI is a European paper-based industry, and we are working together also to create guidelines for paper-based products to achieve more recyclable products. So what we have see right now is that most of paper on carton board are 100% recyclable and drinkable. They are also compostable. We are working with several third parties to assure the high quality recyclates like RecyClass and Evergreen. And I didn't talk so much about the PET, but we also work a lot on the PET waste, the PET walls, to achieve more recycling of this product, of this waste, and we will be announcing a lot of more projects regarding PET